Welcome to Ask Ms. ERP. The topic of this video is how to measure ERP service. Hello everyone, Ms. ERP here. In the last video, I talked about how to measure ERP implementation success. Certainly, all of the measures mentioned in that video can be used on an ongoing basis, such as once a year, for example. A popular metric is the cost per transaction, which should go down over time as you discover more efficiencies with your new ERP. Or perhaps your ERP product vendor is delivering new functionality which is helping to streamline your business processes. Your company leaders always like to be reassured that the big investment that they have made in an ERP system is paying off, and having metrics and measures to show this is true generally leads to an environment of continuous improvement, which is everyone's dream. As your ERP or other large enterprise system moves into operations, there are other measures that can be used, most of which relate to issues. Ideally, your company has a service management or ticketing system that you can route all ERP-related issues through, so that you can capture reportable data. I would very much advise against the send an email support method, as this will cause challenges if staff change and does not provide an easily searchable knowledge base with which to deal with repeat issues quickly. Never mind that reporting on anything will be impossible. Even a shared spreadsheet is better than emails because you can add columns to classify, sort, and count issues as you need. Related to this topic, I talked about a recommended support model in video 24, if you're interested. Assuming that you have a ticketing system, or even a spreadsheet, the type of information that you will want to capture includes things like criticality or priority, high, medium, and low at a minimum. This will help you prioritize which are the most important issues to tackle first. As an end user who has entered the issue, I would be interested in response time. How long did it take for someone to get back to me? Resolution time is also interesting, but may be misleading, as some tickets might be open for a long time if you are waiting for the product vendor to resolve the problem, or it's a very complicated issue.
Oh, I can't believe this. This is true. No.
Which leads to another metric, which is ticket aging. If you just count open and closed tickets, you might be missing the fact that some tickets are being ignored. It might be valid that they're open for a long time, but it is something you should watch. Similarly, duration can be a telling metric. If you have many tickets that close quickly, that is usually a good sign. If many tickets are open for a long time, you may have some underlying issues or angry users to deal with. Best to keep an eye on this. If at all possible, you will want to close tickets with some pertinent information or a close cause. The root cause of the issue could be a bug or a user training need. If you start noticing a pattern, this could point you to opportunities for process improvements or to offer some targeted end-user training. With all of these metrics, you should be interested in the volumes. For example, how many high-priority tickets did you have last month compared to this month? Is that number going down? One would hope so, but there may be legitimate reasons why it goes up for a specific month. For example, you may have taken a vendor product update on your system which introduced some bugs. You might just have one high-priority issue that generated a lot of tickets if that functionality is used by many users. If you have data to analyze, you will be able to answer these questions and plan accordingly. Your leadership will also likely be interested in this information at a summary level, because if there are ERP issues happening, they will have heard about it. The same logic for internal issues apply to product or managed services issues. Your partners should be able to provide you some kind of issue reporting, whether it is open issues, high priority issues, or other metrics already mentioned. This status or metric reporting should be part of whatever contract you have with either the product vendor or a support service provider. An important measure of the success of your ongoing ERP service is customer satisfaction. There is a saying in the IT world that when things are quiet, all must be well. This is not always the case. It is true that you are much more likely to get negative feedback, which will break the silence. But it is also possible that the end users have given up trying to give feedback or get help. This is likely because the users feel that they have not been heard or they have not been successful in getting their issues resolved. As they say, trust is difficult to re-establish once it has been lost, but there are lots of tactics to use to help if you are in this situation. I will mention a few here. Some companies send automated surveys out after every ticket closes. In my experience, this is not really a good measure, as the staff tend to ignore it unless they feel strongly about how the issue was resolved, either very good or very bad, which can be useful information on its own, but it is a better idea to try to actually talk to your end users. There are many ways to do this. You could set up a focus group or a super user network or some kind of virtual chat room to collect information. These mechanisms work well for feedback on targeted areas. For more general input, I have found it works better if respondents can be anonymous, as they will tend to be more honest. A good question to ask is, what one thing would you change in the system, which causes a respondent to prioritize their feedback? If you have a way to get votes on ideas, that would also help you focus on any improvement activities. As mentioned in the previous video, if you obtain feedback of any kind, you need to be prepared to demonstrate that you heard the feedback and what the next steps are to address the issues. If people see that you are listening and their concerns are being resolved, they are much more likely to continue to give you useful feedback. By combining issue metrics along with some real user input, you will be able to paint an accurate picture of how well your ERP service is performing and can easily identify areas for ongoing improvements. This concludes the How to Measure an ERP Service topic. There is a link on askmizerp.com to email me to ask questions or suggest topics for future videos. Or you can just add comments on any YouTube video. Please subscribe to my channel. Thanks and see you on the next video.